So in this first we will see the working of a basic recording system. So this one is the block diagram of the basic recording system. In this first block is electrodes or transducers are there. Second, signal conditioner, and third is the writing system is there. Now we'll see the explanation. First, recording system. It consists mainly three parts. First, electrode transducer. Second, signal conditioner, and third, writing system or recorders are there. So now we'll see the electrodes or transducer. The electrodes pick up the bioelectrical potential, whereas the transducer converts the physiological signals to be measured into the suitable electrical output. So using the electrodes, we can pick up the bioelectric potential interested signals from human body, and those picked signals is converted into the suitable electrical output. This output of transducer is given to the signal conditioner. So in the signal conditioner, it converts the output of electrodes or transducers into the electrical quantity suitable for operating the writing systems. So in this signal conditioner, there is a number of the amplifiers are there, then power amplifiers are there, the number of the circuits are there, and these circuits is process the signals and it should be suitable for the operating of output unit. Then next is the writing system or recorders are there. The writing system provides a visible graphic representation of the quantity of the physiological variable of interest signals. So at the output side, there is a number of the output devices are used there. The output of the signal conditioner is given as a writing system or recorders. So in the output units or in writing systems, maybe they are using the chart recorder is there, or paper recorder is there, or hard copy is there. Otherwise, direct display on the oscilloscope. Otherwise, we can give the output for the audio amplifier also. So there are using the number of the output units are used at the output side. So this question you are getting for the 5 marks. Explain the block diagram of basic recording system. Next we will see the block diagram of a ECG machine. So in that the main blocks are lead selection switch is there, calibrator is there, isolated transformer is there, and a bioamplifier. In the bioamplifier there is a preamplifier and power amplifiers are there. Frequency selective feedback network is there, and output units are there. So these are the main blocks of ECG machine. First, lead selector switch. The potential picked up by the patient electrodes are taken to the lead selector switch. In the lead selector, the electrode selected 2 by 2 according to the lead programs. The selector switch is used to feed the input voltage from the appropriate electrode to the preamplifier. Second, calibrator. In addition to the lead settings, the selector switch will have one position marked as a standardization. When the selector switch is on this position, then bioamplifier is connected to standardizing a circuit instead of electrodes. So using this calibrator, they are standardizing or checking the working of an amplifier as well as the electrodes. Means it's working properly or not. They are making the calibration of a circuit or electrodes. Third, preamplifier and bioamplifier. That power amplifier, that is nothing but the bioamplifier is there. The preamplifier is usually 3 or 4 stages of a differential amplifiers. A large negative feedback is given from last stage to the first stage of the amplifier. which increases the stability of the system. The power amplifier pick up the output of a preamplifier. The power amplifier are designed to have high power gain. The power amplifiers are used to drive the recorders. So obviously power of the signals will be increased in the power amplifier. Frequency selective feedback network. Feedback signals from pen position is connected via a frequency selective network and is feedback to power amplifier. The frequency selective network is a RC network that is designed to do the necessary damping of the pen motor. Fifth, isolation amplifier. The isolation amplifier increases the input impedance of the monitoring system and thus will provide isolation of the patient from the biomedical instruments. Sixth, output unit. The output units is a CRO display or a paper chart recorders are there. In case of paper chart recorder, the power amplifier supplies the required power to drive the pen motor. In the paper chart recorder, to record the ECG signals, they are using the wax coated paper and heat sensitive pen is used. So whenever the heat sensitive tip is move on the wax coated paper, then we are getting the recording of the ECG signals. The recorder have three operation modes. First is the off mode. The ECG unit is in switched off condition. Means both, that is the chart recorder and amplifiers, both are in off condition. On mode. The power to the amplifier is turned on, but the paper driver is not running. Third, run mode. Amplifier and paper drive are in running conditions. So these are the three modes in the operation of a recorder. Now we will see the isolated preamplifier equipments. What is the use or how it presence of the isolated amplifier preamplifiers is gives a isolation. Electrical isolation is the most commonly used technique to ensure patient protection against electrical hazards. Isolation amplifier separate patient circuitry and AC power line. Isolation amplifiers are commonly used for providing protection against leakage current. They break the ohmic continuity of electrical signals between the input and output of the amplifier. Usually, there are different methods are used for the isolation purpose. First is the transformer isolation, second optical isolation, and third is the capacitive isolation. Now we'll see the different artifacts in ECG measurements. Abnormal patterns of ECG may be due to pathological states due to the artifacts. First, interference from the power line. So power line interference is easily recognizable since the interfering voltage in the ECG would have a frequency of 50 Hz. This may be due to the effect or because of alternating current field due to loops in the patient cable. When machine patient is not properly grounded, then also we are getting the interference of the power line. Static charges on the synthetic uniform of operator man. Or this type of interference is minimized by using very high CMRR and partially shielding the patient by means of the bed springs. So by using this one we can avoid this interface. Shifting of the baseline. Wandering baseline but otherwise normal ECG trace is usually due to the movement of the patient or electrodes. Ensuring that the patient lies relaxed and the electrodes are properly attached can be eliminate the baseline shift. Selecting proper electrodes material which will reach equilibrium quickly with a good electrode jelly can minimize these artifacts. Third, muscle tremor. Irregular trembling of the ECG trace without wandering of the baseline occurs when the patient is not relaxed or is cold. It is generally found in case of older patients. Muscle tremor signals are especially on limb leads. When patient moves for a muscles are stretched, then these artifacts may be added. Therefore, for long-term monitoring, the electrodes are applied on the chest, not on the limbs. For normal routine ECG recording, the patient must be advised to get warm and to relax to eliminate muscle tremor. Now we will see the types of bipolar leads used in the ECG. So in the ECG measurement, they are using the different types of the leads for the measurement. So in that, first is the bipolar leads, or we can call it as a standard. In these, three standard lead connections are lead 1, lead 2 and lead 3 is there. In the bipolar or standard lead configuration, the potential from 4 locations on the body are recorded. The electrodes applied to the right arm of the patient are called RA lead and so on. So usually right leg electrode is used as a ground or a reference electrode. So in the first lead configuration, here right leg is used as a reference, and here they are connecting the electrodes for the right arm and left arm. So for the lead 1, from the right arm it given to the positive of the amplifier, and remaining left arm is given to the negative of the amplifier. That is the lead 1 connection. In the lead 2 connection, they are using the right arm and left leg. So from the left leg, they are given the input for the positive of the amplifier, and then right arm is given to the negative of the amplifier. In lead 3, there is a left leg and a left arm is used. So in this, left leg is connected and left arm is connected to the amplifier. So this one is the lead 3 connection is there. So using these 3 connections, they are finding the resultant ECG signal. So to get resultant, they are using the Enthoven triangle. So now the closed path RA to LA to LL, that is the right arm to the left arm to the left leg and back to the again right arm, is called Enthoven triangle, introduced by the Enthoven. These 3 standard leads are called bipolar because each different position in the ECG is recorded from 2 electrodes and third electrode is not connected. Enthoven postulated that at any given instant of the cardiac cycle, the frontal plane presentation of the electrical axis of the heart is a 2-dimensional vector is there. So as shown in diagram, there is a Enthoven triangle is there, and from the each one lead they are giving the projection, and then intersecting point is nothing but the resultant of the ECG is there. Now we will see the block diagram of the EEG, that is the electroencephalogram equipment. So in this, there is a number of the blocks are there. In that, calibrator is there, montage selector is there, amplifiers are there, analog to digital converters, digital to analog converters are there, and different filters are there. Montage and electrodes. Pattern of electrodes on the head and the channel they are connected to is called montage. Montage are always symmetrical. The reference electrode is generally placed on a non-active site such as forehead or earlobe. Second, preamplifier. The preamplifier used in EEG must have high gain and low noise characteristics because the EEG potentials are small in amplitude. Very high CMRR to minimize stray capacitance used. Third, sensitivity control. The sensitivity of EEG machine is the gain of the amplifier multiplied by the sensitivity of the writer. If suppose we want to increase the sensitivity, then we should increase the sensitivity of the writer, otherwise we should increase the gain of the amplifier. By increasing any one of them, we can increase the sensitivity of the machine. Fourth, filters. EEG may contain muscle artifacts due to contraction of the skull or neck muscles. The most effective way to eliminate muscle artifacts is to advise the person to relax, but it is not always successful. So, these artifacts are generally removed using low-pass filter. These filters on the EEG machine has several selectable positions. The high-frequency filters can control the upper cutoff frequency. Sometimes they are using the notch filters to remove the 50 Hz frequency from mains. Fifth, writing part. The best type of the pen motors used in machines have a frequency response of about 90 Hz. The inkjet recording system, which gives a response of 1000 Hz, is useful for some special applications. Paper drive. This is provided by a synchronous motor. An accurate and stable paper drive mechanism is necessary, and it is normal practice to have several paper speeds available for selection. Speeds of 15, 30, 60 mm per second are essential. Some machines also provide speed values outside this range also. Seventh, channels and computers. EEG machines have up to 32 channels, although 8 or 16 channels are common. These machines permits customer programmable montage selection and also include a video monitor screen to display the selected patterns. Modern EEG machines are mostly PC based with Pentium processor with a large hard disk, cache memory and RAM capacity. It can store more than 40 hours of EEG. It gives a high resolution and a color monitor. So this one is the EEG machine. This one question you are getting for the 10 marks or 7 marks. Now we will see the 1020 systems. So this one is the diagram for the 1020 system, electrode placement system. So in this first see here, they are using the usually circumference from Nazian point to the Inian point. So this area is divided into the 10, 20, 20, 20, 20 and again 10. So this circumference is divided into the 10, 4 20s and again 10. So that's why this system is called as a 1020 system. This system is named as a 10-20 system because the electrode spacing is based on the intervals of 10 and 20% of distance between specified points on the skull. The electrodes are identified according to their position on the head. FP means a frontal polar, F means a frontal, C means a central, T means a temporal, and O means a occipital. Odd numbers refers to the electrodes on the left side of the head. Even numbers represents those on the right side of the head, while Z denoted midline. The reference electrode is usually attached to the ear A1 and A2. The electrode placement may be unipolar or bipolar, but usually bipolar is more popular. In 10-20 system, the electrodes are located as follows. A line is drawn on the skull from Nazian to the Inian point, and similar line is drawn from the left preauricular pointer and right preauricular point. By marking this intersection of these two lines, we'll get a CZ. Mark points at 10, 20, 20, 20, 20 and 10% of the total Nazian-Inian distance. These points are FP2, F8, T4, T6 and O2 on the right side. FP1, F7, T3, T5 and O1 on the left side. Mark points at 30, 20, 20 and 30% of the total Nazian-Inian distance along the midline. These points are FZ, CZ and PZ. Measure the distance between FP1 and O1 along the circumference passing through the C3 and mark this point at 25% intervals. These points gives the position of F3, C3 and P3. Similarly, on the right side, we are getting F4, C4 and P4. In the system, F7, F3, FZ, F4 and F8 are equidistant. Similarly, T5, P3, PZ, P4 and T6 are equidistant. A1 and A2 are air electrodes as a reference. Now we will see the EMG recording system. So this one is the block diagram. In this main blocks are stimulator, preamplifier, audio amplifier, tape recorder and displays are there. These are the output devices are there. First we will see the stimulator. The stimulator is used to excite the sensory nerve that carry information to the central nervous system, and the reflex response of the muscle can be displayed. Most of the EMG have built-in stimulator and it provides single, double or train of pulses. The stimulus amplitude, duration and delay are all adjustable. Second, preamplifier. Preamplifier is used to amplify the EMG signals are picked up by needle or surface electrodes before transmitting them along wire. Preamplifier used for EMG must have high CMRR and good bandwidth, low noise characteristics. It is preferable to mount the preamplifier very near to the subject using very small electrode leads. Preamplifiers provide low output impedance and CMRR must be higher than the 80 dB up to 5 kHz filters. Low frequency and high frequency filters are used to select the pass band of the incoming signals. The pass band is normally made as narrow as possible in order to eliminate the noise. The EMG may contains frequency component up to 10 kHz. Using low-pass filter, the frequency range is restricted to 200 Hz for clinical applications. In recorders, the EMG recording unit consists of a sound recorder and a graphic recorder. A flat-faced fiber optical CRT is used for recording over which the light-sensitive recording paper moves. Over a permanent record is produced on the paper. The image developed directly as it is advanced by exposure to the blue light of chosen wavelength. The paper speed of motor or recorder is 10, 20, 50 and 100 centimeter per second are available. Display. The modern EMG has two CRTs for the display purpose. One for the displaying continuously and another one for the recording. For displaying EMG signals, variable persistent storage CRT is used. A 4-trace display may be necessary for the display purpose. Now we will see the applications of ECG. ECG is used for diagnosis of heart disorders like bradycardia and tachycardia. It provides valuable information about a cardiac arrest. Third, it used to detect the enlargement of the heart muscles. It is used to detect the inactive part in the heart. It is used to detect heart blocks like AV block and bundle blocks. Next, to investigate blood flow blockage to the heart. Last, in diagnosis of arrhythmia. Now, applications of electroencephalogram. First, to check the level of consciousness region for sleep disorders. To check the depth of brain. To identify brain tumor and treat the epilepsy. It is used in brain injury. It is used to find location of a tumor. It is used to monitor alertness. It is used to monitoring during a surgery, and also it is used to record efficiency of yoga. Applications of electromyogram. First, it is used in study of reflex system. It is used to detect conduction velocity of nerves. To find the condition of muscle during one contraction. It is used to diagnosis of nerve damages. It is used to diagnosis of disease related to muscles. To diagnosis disease like muscle weakness. EMG is used for the diagnosis of neurological and neuromuscular problems. Now we will see the applications of ERG, electroretinogram. This ERG is used to find retinal degeneration. Second, nerve disorder can be diagnosed and treated using the ERG signals. It is also used to find the post effect of drugs on the eye movement mechanism. It is used to administer the level of anesthesia during the operation. Retinal defects like retinal inflammation can be find out or diagnosis using the ERG signals only. So these are the applications of the ECG, EMG, EEG and ERG.